You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Salam. My name is Sheikh Abu Hakim Abdullah, President Chairman of Al Masjid Sharia Allah, AMSA, a non-profit religious organization operating in the state of Rhode Island, USA. The other night, or during the week of me taping this program for you, I had to go to the hospital. Emergency. I had to go to the emergency room in the hospital. Now, I'm not going to tell you about why, but I'm going to tell you this: that during my trip in the hospital, in the emergency area, that's what motivated me to tell you this, to make this program for the day, to the night, or whatever you're looking at it. I'm an Orthodox Muslim, strict Muslim. I believe in the Sharia of Allah. I believe all Muslims should follow the Sharia of Allah. And I state that on all my programs that I have made here in Rhode Island. Now, I noticed that I received a whole lot of respect when I was been to Rhode Island Hospital. It begun when they picked me up at the house in the ambulance and took me there. I really received a whole lot of respect from the person that was driving the ambulance, a lieutenant. And he was there with I believe she was an African-American female. A driver was a black female, African-American. And we talked about Islam and other things. I always try to talk about Islam. I always try to give people dawah, knowledge of Islam, especially those that are not Muslims. And when we got to the hospital, they went and got the wheelchair for me. No, they didn't get the wheelchair for me, excuse me. They put me on a bed and rolled me in the hospital. And I sat up there, and there was a mess. There was a mess going on. It was confusing. It was upside down. It was just a big mess going on. It wasn't the hospital's fault. It's just the atmosphere of an emergency room with people high and all drunk up, and people on dope and stuff, using dope and nodding and all that. Then there's sincere people in there that is in there because they're in trouble with their health and their body's not acting right. But me as a Muslim, that's what this main thing is about, I'm talking about. Me as a Muslim was treated with respect. You figure that a lot of states don't give up that kind of respect to Muslims after the Boston thing and after 9/11 and after the people that's parading around from England that want to destroy Islam. But in Rhode Island, there's a different scene going on. In Rhode Island, Muslims are living among Muslims. Muslims are living among non-Muslims. And you don't hear fire trucks or ambulances going down to a Muslim neighborhood because they're fighting each other and they're killing each other. The non-Muslims and the Muslims are threatening each other. That's not going on in Rhode Island. I think one time in 9/11, when 9/11 happened, I think we had a little problem out there in North Kingston. And I think we had a little problem in Warwick. But what's happening? Why isn't Muslims and non-Muslims doing the same thing they do in other states? Why aren't they arguing with each other and Muslims being threatened by non-Muslim people? But one of the reasons why I think it's happening like that is because Muslims have programs on the television here in Rhode Island. And Muslim organizations are reaching out to non-Muslim people with their television programs. And Muslims here in Rhode Island on their television programs are also stepping out against terrorism of all kinds. Whether it's terrorism coming from a so-called terrorist movement, terrorist Muslims, or coming out of Islam, or out of Christianity, or out of the army, or the United States, or China, wherever it is. Muslims in Rhode Island are against it. They state that constantly on the television. They have a show come on 3 times a week in one place and 2 times a week in another place. The show that comes on 2 times a week is seen by over 1 million people. And the show that comes on 3 times a week is seen by the neighborhoods that they're in, like East Providence, Pawtucket, Providence, Barrington, East Greenwich, Kingston, North Kingston. All these places got stations that they do television shows in that neighborhood, like a little square neighborhood they have. I myself have one that comes on 5 times a week. 2 times, it comes on 3 times in Pawtucket, East Providence, and comes on 2 times a week on Interconnect. That reaches all Rhode Island and part of Connecticut, part of Massachusetts. Yeah, I've even been told that it reached part of New York, Fort Washington, New York, Port Washington, New York. That's out in Long Island. The water moves like it's in the cold here. Here's Rhode Island, and here's Port Washington. It's a piece of land that comes out and faces each other. There's a good chance it's going in there. And it's also been seen, somebody told me they seen it in New Jersey. Well, we're on two major networks. We're on Cox Network that shows stuff all up and down New England. And we're on Verizon Network that shows stuff all up and down New England in other states other than New England. And it's a major station. So they might be taking part of the stuff that's being seen in Rhode Island and taking it to another state. That's their prerogative. They can do that. And we got people on these stations, Muslims, talking about against terrorism of any kind, of all kinds. Not only terrorism coming out of so-called Islamic people, but terrorism coming out of the United States and other places. I myself have done that. So that's so Islam is really recognized and understood in Rhode Island. They understand that the Sharia in Rhode Island doesn't affect them as non-Muslims because they're told this constantly. They constantly have shows that says that the Sharia has nothing to do with them. The Sharia is on the Muslim. Like the Christian laws are on the Christian. Like the Catholic laws is on the Catholic. That's their Sharias. So we have ours. And we're constantly talking this. We also talk about, we also condemned Muslims as not doing what they're supposed to do doing in Islam. Whether it's our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, our uncles, and our cousins, or just friends. We condemn them, and we don't applaud each other, because we praise is for Allah, not for people. So this is what's going on in Rhode Island. So I see the effects of it in the hospitals. I go to King County Hospital. I was in King County Hospital. I go there for operation, for procedures, as they call them. Look at my prostate and other stuff, because I'm suffering from cancer. Not from the prostate, but I had cancer in the bladder. And I've received the best of the care in those hospitals. I mean, the friendship and the relationship between me and them has been very acceptable to both parties. Very acceptable to both parties. I receive kindness and care. I receive respect. They knock on the door and everything when I'm undressing. They try to follow the laws of me not touching women and women not touching me. And I receive all the understanding and stuff from mothers, grandmothers that's out there, nurses. And the doctors also. Doctors know me. Some of them know me. Some of them know me by first name. They call me first name basis. And out in Rhode Island Hospital, there's a lot of doctors there know me. A lot of people that's working in there know me. They got a few Muslims working in there. Like I seen one that is out there. I know his whole family, and he's 20-something years old. And I know his brothers and his sisters. I know the whole family, his mother. his grandmother, another little family. He works out there. So I get very good care out of the place. I get a lot of respect. I go to the pulmonary clinic because the pulmonary clinic is where I belong. That's my clinic. And I have cancer in both lungs. And I get a lot of respect out of that. My primary doctor is Dr. Fazio. He's in West Warwick. So I go to Kent County also. Kent Hospital also. I don't go to Kent County Pulmonary Clinic, but I go to Warwick, Rhode Island Pulmonary Clinic. And there's nothing they can really do for me because I have emphysema also, and had emphysema long before I had cancer. So my lungs are partly ate up, a great deal ate up. But I get a lot of understanding out of there. I go, and I get a very, very nice atmosphere. Matter of fact, I was stuck out there, and they got me a voucher to give me a cab to take me home. Because they knew I couldn't walk to the bus stop with a bus ticket. So they got me a voucher for a cab. And the cab came after a while, a long while. After a long while, the cab came, and it happened to be another Muslim, and he salamed me, and I salamed him back. And he took me home, brought me home. But the time I was out there in Rhode Island Hospital was very comfortable. It was a very comfortable stay. I went to the room, and they had a TV on. I looked at the nature programs on television. Monster Rivers or something like that. And I stayed in there till it must have been 10 o'clock. I stayed at the 10 o'clock at night. I got there in the daytime. I stayed there at 10 o'clock at night. And they released me. And it was very understanding. So I told them I was going to do this show. I was going to talk about them, how they treated me in Rhode Island Hospital. And I would send a copy of this show to the director of Rhode Island Hospital. I myself at one time was on the board of directors at Rhode Island Hospital. When it's first come on the lifespan, I was on a lifetime board. Me and my ex-wife on a lifetime board. So I just want you to hear that and know that like I said, excuse me, one of the reasons why I feel that Rhode Island is acting a lot different, and I say this to the Muslims around the world, is because in Rhode Island you have Muslims that are speaking out on television. Bismillah. Speaking out on television. And they're not doing it in a lot of other states. Bismillah. So I feel that since we have many shows on the television here in Rhode Island, that they're looking at it and they're speaking out about it. And I feel like they're not doing it like this in other states. I have to slow down. I have to catch my breath. Just bear with me. And that's why I feel that you have such a mild, no problems in Rhode Island between the Muslims and non-Muslims. Oh man, sorry that this happened. I was talking too much, I guess, too fast. And I gotta get myself together now. It's hard getting myself together. Anybody that has a breathing problem know what I'm going through. It's hard to get yourself together. But I'm gonna try because I'm on television. I'm not going to break the show up because of this. I'll try to finish this show. But I'm doing God's work. I work for God. I work for God Allah. And it's hard, but I work for Him. I don't have the help I should be having, the assistance I should be getting, but I'm letting you see what I go through here. But I feel that all the programs that's on there, Islamic programs, and the Christian programs that's on there, they're not trying to degrade the Islam and ridicule the Islam. That's not happening on Rhode Island television. They're talking for a better condition than that. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have these foolish things going on in Rhode Island. Between the Muslims and the non-Muslims. Because we have more of an open relationship with each other in Rhode Island. We function as a family here, even though we are different nationalities and different religions. But we function as one unit. We function as followers of whatever we follow. I'm a devout Muslim. I'm not a moderate. I'm not trying to modernize anything. I'm not trying to modernize my way of life to match the times, the modern times, like others are trying to do. I'm not trying to take anything from Islam or put anything in Islam. But like I said to the president in my letters to him, Islam, terrorism is not going to cease unless the Muslims and the non-Muslims get together and stand up against it. The killing of bin Laden did not stop terrorism. And it's not going to cease because of that death. And we got to understand that. So unless the President of the United States sits down and talks with all Muslims and recognize that the moderates are a small minority of members of Islam, and he's going to have to sit down with them and invite them to the White House and get them to work with him in the White House. The non-moderate Muslims. He's not working with Islam. Because a lot of the modern stuff is being recognized by the Islamic movement as disobedient to Allah. And not obeying Allah's laws, trying to take some change it. And a person trying to change the book and the rules and regulations of Islam is looked upon as an evil person. So he's going to have to look what he's doing. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim wala-d-dallin. Amin.